Hey trainers, welcome back to Pokemon Deck Check. I would be Poke Dad.
I'm the Dancing Bear.
And today on Pokemon TCG Unified Minds, World's Meta Game, folks, right?
For the Masters.
World's Meta Forecast for the Masters Division. We're also going to do a separate video for seniors and juniors and get those out. But right now, like always with our Meta Forecast videos, they're going to be extremely detailed, in-depth analysis. We're going to take you through what we believe to be the decks that you need to be prepared to face, fringe decks, and then stuff that's like completely rogue that you may not see, but they will be around you. And then at the end, we'll go through our top 8 decks, kind of our top 8 picks, if you will. Okay? So, lots and lots to get to, and you're just going to bear with us. Lots of information. Everybody's pumped. Worlds is right around the corner. Get this stuff out to y'all so I can have a better feel for what the meta is going to be like, right?
Indeed.
All right, so straight away, you want to start with Tier 1?
I was going to say, if you're interested, we got merch now. You can go check it out in the description. We got hoodies, we got t-shirts, Poke Dad and Dancing Bear. Pick your team. Yep, of course you're going to go with my team.
But Team Poke Dad is where it's at.
No.
So,
all right, now we can start it off.
Okay, Tier 1. What is going to be the most popular deck? And I think this covers all age, well, maybe not seniors, but definitely juniors and masters. What is going to be the most popular deck?
I feel like we've been hyping it up, just saying it's going to be super popular. And that's the Zekrom Pikachu tag team.
Without a shadow of a doubt, it will be the most popular deck at Worlds, right?
That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't lose very much from the rotation. It's still fairly straightforward how to play it. It does gain some new options with the Alolan Raichu. We're not fans of that, but it's definitely going to be around, and you will definitely know how to play. Have to know how to play against the paralysis, right? I think people are drawn to it because, number one, it is Zekrom and Pikachu.
And it's been along for a long time.
And it's been really good. It's extremely proven, right?
Yeah.
It's
the first tag team that was ever announced. And whenever you saw the 200, 170, everyone was on their game thinking about how to use this card and the best way to play it.
And remember, it was released to us at Worlds. We had the glimpse of it. So, pretty cool stuff. Makes you wonder what they're going to release now. Probably tag teams that have like 350 HP that are worth 4 prizes.
They're going to name it like Ultra Tag Team.
Yeah, something crazy.
Then Ultra Mega Tag Team, then...
Yep, so...
Only Tag Team.
They're
crazy.
I'm not personally a fan of this deck, but I can see why it appeals to everyone, especially juniors. But I see why it appeals to a lot of masters too. You know, it's aggressive, and you're not going to be drawing games. You either win or you lose. There's no gray area in between, right? You're not going to be having long, drawn-out games where you tie.
I find that it's hard for me to tie.
So,
unless I ID.
Oh, and a quick notification. Not every single deck is on here. That's completely absurd and almost unfathomable that we would have every single deck option. Okay? The truth is the options are limitless. We just have it really kind of filed down. So, anything else on Zekrom Pikachu?
I'm not too big of a fan, but I respect it.
Agree. Respect it. I don't care for the deck. Personally, is it a good play? Well, we'll just have to kind of see where we're at with everything else and determine that, if it's a good play or not.
Yeah.
Do you have any more for Tier 1? What you got?
This one. I like this one.
Party Balloon, absolutely. I feel like it doesn't get the respect it deserves. I feel like, it's been consistent. It performs well at tournaments, but people are just kind of like, I would rather play Zekrom or Charizard or something like that, right?
It could possibly be because they might think it's super boring. You just attach energy, play Beast Ring, evolve a couple Naganadels.
Out of all the decks, probably it's the most linear
For sure.
package. I mean, it just takes big one-hit KOs.
Only.
There are some questionable matchups to where you need to burn and confuse.
Like a mirror match.
To set up the numbers perfectly, especially like against the matchup against Charizard kind of sticks out in my mind that you kind of have to burn and confuse and force them to kind of switch it up, but then that Charizard's in super easy one-hit KO range with the 250 after that. So, I think it's probably the most consistent of all the decks.
And it's super proven.
If I'm playing day one, I would opt for the streamlined version. If I was looking to win in day two, win the world championship, or possibly make top 8, I think I would highly consider adding in the Parisian. Go with the Ditto, the Meowth, Parisian, and then a slimmer Naganadel line. Like a 3-3 line. 3 Poiple, 3 Naganadel, and then the Ditto, Meowth, Parisian GX.
I see.
So, I think, obviously, for versatility, that is going to be your best option. But overall, I like the streamlined version. And we talked in a lot of detail on that on our deck profile, so we're not going to go in too much detail there. But, yeah.
You got another one?
Yeah, and that's going to be the Malamar variants.
Okay, so this one.
So Ultra Necrozma, Spread, and then Garatina Garchomp.
I think you put them in order here. First, second, third. Maybe?
Yeah. The Garatina Garchomp version's getting a lot of hype right now. But after extensively testing it, I honestly believe Ultra Necrozma is the way to go.
I think Ultra Necrozma is the way to go because there's not a damage cap at 240. And then maybe put a 4-drop for a 280, but that's 2 attacks. When you can just put up Ultra Necrozma, attach 3 energies just like the Garatina, and you can hit 260.
Don't get me wrong, there are definitely benefits of the Garatina Garchomp. Being able to snipe something for 40 that's trying to escape to the bench is pretty sweet, right?
And you can use the GX attack. It's super hard to use Ultra Necrozma's GX attack.
I like the spread because it is a 1-prize attack deck, and spell tags in combination with Shrine has proven to be extremely deadly, especially against decks like Party Balloon and Ultra Necrozma that are just sitting there with 180, 190 HP.
Just glass cannons.
And even Zekrom Pikachu is kind of squishy at 240. I know it's hard to see him at 240, but that's kind of squishy for the 1-prize attack decks, you know?
Yeah.
So I do see benefits to the spread. I see benefits to Garchomp, Garatina. I lean more towards the Ultra Necrozma.
I do too.
So I think that's it for Tier 1. I think you need to be ready to face several Zekrom Pikachus, maybe a few Party Balloons, and then I think you need to be ready to stare down some Malamar variants, right? So, all right, so move on to Tier 2.
Tier 2, we shall.
Tier 2, and these are kind of the decks that we can see countering the Tier 1 decks, right?
That's the main goal. And Aerodactyl is a great pick. I think it has a really good matchup against Zekrom Pikachu with the weakness, and then it takes 4 energies. Unless we're playing the deck, then it still only takes 3. And then it helps in the Blacephalon matchup. It takes even more energies. And you're going to have to use the Welder in order to get off the attack. It's going to help here, here, and here. This is going to be 4 energies. And if you only have 2 Malamars on the bench, it's not going to work out. You can't just streamline it.
I really like Aerodactyl. I'm buying everything you're selling.
Ultra Necrozma may not be the best matchup because they're going to have more than just 2 energies attached.
Yeah, I would say your Malamar decks are going to be your most difficult matchup just because they're able to add more energy with Malamar itself. So I think Malamar is going to be your definitely most difficult matchup, right? But Party Balloon, you're looking pretty good. You're looking good against Zekrom. And you're looking good against, like, some of the other stuff.
Right.
That we'll get into.
And it has resistance for the Giratina.
No, it doesn't.
No, the Giratina has fighting resistance.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Aerodactyl. Yep. Yeah. So, going back, Malamar is definitely is what you don't want to stare down, right?
Yeah.
But I like your matchups against that, and then some of the other stuff that we're going to get into too.
We've also had some of our fans try out the Aerodactyl list that we have here and pull off some dubs.
To my knowledge, several viewers have taken our Aerodactyl list and have had success to tournaments. So it would not surprise me to see Aerodactyl make its way into day 2. Definitely would not surprise me one bit. Is it going to be popular? I lean towards no because I feel like people might be scared off because of Fossil. And a Fossil nowadays is not like a Fossil
back
even
in the days.
Yeah. This is much easier. You don't need a Maxis to get it out. In fact, you can get Aerodactyl out on turn 1 with a simple stadium.
You can get out 2.
Yes, so this is a completely different time period, folks. This is legit. It's good. Will it be popular? I don't know, but you know what? We haven't been seeing or hearing anything. No whispers on it, no info on it, and usually when that happens, it means people have something hidden, secret going on. And there's one other deck that kind of, I think, falls into that category too. Actually, two other decks that kind of fall into the Aerodactyl kind of category.
2.
Yeah. So, got anything else on it? I think it's good.
I love the deck. It's super fun to play.
It's fun and it's really good. Ability, super strong right now, especially against decks that are looking to take advantage of that early acceleration from Welder and then go straight into the attack. And yes, I'm looking at you, Charizard. They're going to have a bad day if they're staring across from Aerodactyl.
Just remember that it does have the ability.
Right. Okay, so another tier 2.
What you got?
I think Charizard. I think people are still going to be playing Charizard. Juniors, I absolutely think will be playing Charizard.
They already love Charizard.
I think Charizard will be the second most popular deck in Juniors.
I'm not as much as a fan of Charizard anymore. I used to like it, but that was with Choice Band. Being able to hit those super high numbers and just have a little side effect of you can't use this specific attack on this Pokemon next turn. It was super good. But now the numbers just struggle. It's not able to one-shot the Zekrom Pikachu, and
That-
that's what's let it have its big reign of terror on this format.
That's its biggest hurdle, is how to deal with Zekrom Pikachu, and I think that's why a lot of people gravitate towards the Zekrom Pikachu. 230, just short of that 10 damage, and we've tried Garatina with the 10 drops to
Yeah.
get the KO. Not consistent, not reliable, folks.
It's hard to get into the discard pile.
I think the way people are gravitating towards is a 4 Volcanion build. 4 Volcanion, 3 Reshiram Charizard, and then a possible Mewtwo Mew. I think that's, and then, of course, Dedenne or 2 or whatever. And then possibly a sprinkling of Jirachi. But for the most part, 4 Volcanion, 3 Charizard is what I think people are leaning towards. So,
Getting distracted.
yeah.
The microphone.
So it's not as powerful as it used to be.
Definitely not.
You can still, I think it has a good Malamar matchup. I feel like it does.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
Being
like
able to one-shot still.
Yeah. So I like it against Malamar. I don't really like it against Party Balloon either, I gotta say.
Yeah.
Because even if you do kind of go into the one prize game with Volcanion, you still can't do enough damage to Naganadel to one-shot him. So if you get into a 2-shot KO war, it's pretty even. Volcanion probably still comes out a little bit on top.
Why's that?
Than the Naganadel.
I think Naganadel comes on top because it has the effect, once you hit that 3 prize card mark, then you're able to hit for 160, allowing you to take the one shot, and that's going to put you ahead.
I agree, and if they go into Charizard, that's when you can go into Party Balloon and then really put the hurt on them, right?
Yeah. It just depends on timing. Depends on who runs out of little attackers first.
I don't like it against Balloon. I don't like it against Zekrom. And I somewhat like it against this. But again, you're going to run into the same problem with Baby Garatinas. If Ultra Necrozma has 2 Garatinas, your Volcanions are in trouble. Because they're getting one shot, and you can't one-shot the Garatina.
That's a problem.
So I don't like this against these, and I don't like it against Aerodactyl.
I like how aggressive it is. That's super cool about it, but
Yeah, it can definitely put some early game pressure on some stuff.
hitting for 200.
And then they play greens. They can play greens to grab the custom catchers. So if you play kind of a greens version, then you'll just run 4 Volcanion, 3 Charizard. You wouldn't run a Jirachi line or Dedenne. So I think a greens version could be really good to grab those custom catchers and put pressure out of nowhere. But I still don't like it against definitely Ultra, Party Balloon, and Zekrom.
I agree.
So, but I still think it's going to be popular.
And
Right.
that's what's important.
And that's kind of what we're metagaming here. The popularity of the decks. Not necessarily the best deck. What's going to be popular? What can you expect to face? Yeah. Another Tier 2 deck.
You were telling me something about it, but not the Charizard, but this next Tier 2 deck, and
What you got?
it's interesting.
What you got, Dancing Bear?
You were telling me how you thought that the Beast Box was Tier 2. And I thought you were crazy until you told me the why. Once I heard the why, I started to click.
Okay. Here's the story with the Naganadel GX Beast Box. One of our viewers, hey, Poke Dad, check out this list. Okay. Checked it out, and it was solid. And then I started doing a little research on it, And wouldn't you know, Mr. Finnegan has been secretly working on it. And if y'all are aware of Finnegan and Rucan, then you will know that they probably test the formats more than anybody else. Like, we may start testing the format before them, but they quickly catch up because they just sit there and just run data, run data, run data, run data. And if Finnegan is saying the Beast Box is legit, I have never known him to lie or to deceive or mislead people. And I 100% take his word for it. And from our testing, it seemed extremely solid. How to best play it? The list we have right now does not have Persian, but I do like what we have here. But I would also like to try out the Persian version.
Oh.
But I think right now it's a mystery, folks. It's hard to place. I think people are keeping it a secret. If Finnegan says it's legit, then I definitely believe him. So.
All right.
So let's go into. I've got one last one for tier 2.
She does.
And I think it's an interesting deck, and we'll talk about why. And that's Mewtwo Mew Toolbox.
It's one of my favorites to play. It's a blast to play.
I think it's one of the strongest decks.
Oh yeah.
Out there. There's a
problem though.
Here's my problem with that. Is I do not agree with some of the lists that are going around. Okay? And you know what? And then the people who have made those lists probably don't agree with our list too. So it's all good. We all have different opinions, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine.
That's the way of life.
It is. That's just the way Pokemon go. Right now we have a streamlined, just straight fire energy. Okay? No rainbow, no water energy, no psychic energy.
No
it's
fairy
just
energy.
It's just streamlined, shaped like a bullet. Okay? It's a bullet. And I tell you what, this bullet can fly. Okay?
It's zooming.
It's coming out of a 50 cal. Alright, folks? And it's sniping and getting the one-hit KOs like crazy. I think, here's my opinion, and I don't want anyone to get their feelings hurt, but I think a lot of people will try the lists that are floating around out there and may come to the conclusion that it's not very good.
Because honestly, it's a good starting point to look online. Sometimes just look online, compare lists and see stuff, and then you make your own tweaks to it, how you play. And
I mean, people are naturally going to gravitate towards the more popular YouTubers, and that's perfectly fine too. We used to do the same thing, you know, before we started in on this. We would do the same thing. We'd do our research. We'd look at articles by the pros, or we would scope out the experienced Pokemon players and see what kind of list they have. And, you know, while they do their best to put out the best list possible, but a lot of times they just grab the deck and, you know, they just haven't really tested it. They just put it together, and that's fine, and they put it out there. And I think the problem is, though, is they don't update those lists as they go along. And so when people search for Mewtwo Toolbox, they'll grab the deck that they find, and they'll test it, and it may not work for them. It may not be very good. And so they just push it off to the side, grab Zekrom Pikachu, look for a current list best they can, try it. Oh, I like this. This is much better. And then I think that's what happens.
Yeah.
And so that's why you're not getting any sort of information on Mewtwo Mew Toolbox. You're not seeing any videos. I think people have just kind of discarded it. But
it's hard to find people who actually say, hey, this is a good, strong deck.
They don't...
And it's fast.
The competitive, the super competitive YouTubers aren't going to give out their best decks and best ideas. That's just the reality that you have to come to. Majority of them won't do that. Not all of them, majority. Okay? So, I think it will be... I think I can see the Japanese players coming up with some super awesome Mewtwo Toolbox lists. I really can. I think it will be super popular with the Japanese players. I don't think it'll be as popular with the United States players or even Europe or Australian players.
Yeah.
Or South American players.
I agree.
They've had more access to the card.
Mm-hmm.
They've seen it more. They know what it's capable of. They know how powerful it is. They're already comfortable playing it. I can definitely see the Japanese, kind of like what happened with Gliscod and Gardevoir, remember?
Yep.
Once it came out, everyone here in the U.S. was on this Gardevoir hype train. It's so good. It's busted. That attack is just crazy. And Gliscod came out in that same list. And what did all the Japanese players show up with?
The Gliscod.
Pretty sweet Gliscod Garbodor stuff, right? I think it's going to be the same thing.
Yep.
So, that's all I got. I'm rambling here.
All right. Now on to Rogue and Tier 3, which I pointed at them wrong, but...
And that's always hard because, I mean, I think there's a super thin line on whether it's Tier 3 or Rogue.
And sometimes there's a line on if it's Tier 2 or Tier 3.
There is. And I think of the Tier 3 decks that's right on the edge is the stall decks.
Mm-hmm.
Not necessarily Lucario. It could be Shedinja decks, okay? Stall decks. Just stalling period / Lucario decks. And that could count as your Keldeo decks, your Hoopa decks, Shedinja, any sort of stall, Keldeo GX, the Bronzong that prevents from Charizard and Party Balloon, stuff like that, right?
Yeah, and sorry that you don't get much of that. We don't have the fullest of accuracy on the stall decks, on where they should be placed, because a lot of times they don't do too good on our channel, the stall decks. Not too many people want to watch it. We've tried doing a Wailord on live stream, and then we were high. We were at a good solid amount of people watching at the time. Then we busted out those decks because that's what we were playing in the tournament, and then dive bomb real quick to like 3 viewers.
It's just not exciting to watch. I mean, it's boring to play. I don't care for that style of play at all. It's more the Dancing Bears forte.
I don't mind playing it.
But I think you're definitely going to see them. Whether it's Keldeo, Bronzong, or Shedinja, Hoopa, or Lucario, it's going to be around. I don't think it's going to be as popular, but it's definitely going to be around, right?
Yes.
So, and that's a good reason to play like the 4 Volcanion or 2 Garatina in your Ultra Necrozma to deal with the Keldeo. Keldeo can't one-shot the Garatina.
That's super
But
good.
Garatina can 2-shot the Keldeo. Or, if it has Spell Tag, it can one-shot it and then the Spell Tag the Keldeo too. So, I don't like it. I definitely don't like it against Naganadals. I don't like it against Zapdos. If they're running 2 Zapdos and possibly the Zargatry. I don't like it against any of the Malamar stuff. Right?
No.
So, I think its only really good matchup is probably like Charizard, probably the Mewtwo Mew Toolbox, maybe Beast Box. Aerodactyl, you're going to be good. So, I mean, you're good against, like, the Tier 2 stuff, but I feel like you're going to lose fairly badly. I think you have a decent matchup against Zekrom Pikachu, but the other stuff, I think you just get rolled.
I see that.
So,
we're going into a circle like that, so... Or we started there, so let's just go into a circle.
Baby Balloon.
What do you think? I'm thinking Rogue. Because...
It's Rogue.
Because I
was just
too big of a fan.
I don't like the deck. For me, it's right there with Stall, as far as if I like it or not.
I think it's worse than Stall.
You auto lose any deck that plays probably 2 to 3 single prize attackers.
For sure.
So straight away, you're gonna have a rough time against Zekrom Pikachu. Malamar is an auto loss. Naganadels, you're going to have a bad day against Naganadels.
Ultra Necrozma with the... If it's running the 2 Giratina. Or even one with a Jirachi and Escape Board. Because you can just keep the chain going.
If they're running 4 Volcanion, you're going to have a bad day there. Because they can one-shot you for just 2 energy.
There's a lot of bad days.
I don't like its matchups, folks. I really don't.
I don't like its matchups, and I don't like to play it.
I agree. I agree on both of those. So let's go to the next.
Darkrai. What are you thinking?
I think it is so Rogue.
Really? Because I agree. It's getting so much hype, and from our multiple tries of trying to get it work, it's just not doing what it needs to do.
It's so frustrating right now because I think it could be really good, you know, with the Weavile GX, with possibly Tranitar, Darkrai's attack. You could tech in the Zoroark Greninja. I mean, it has a lot of stuff that looks really, really good on paper, you know?
Yeah.
So many tools that it could take advantage of, you know? Naganadel, move them around with Weavile. But at the end of the day, that is just way too chaotic and too much stuff to set up.
Yes.
It's much easier to just discard something or bench something, welder, and attach for turn, and then you're taking one-hit KOs.
Or this, just attach as many lightning energies as you possibly can as quickly as possible.
I don't see why people would... I see why people would play this, but not at Worlds, okay? League Cups, yes.
Definitely not a day one deck.
But it's an inconsistent mess. It really is.
It's a train wreck.
It has to be one of the least consistent decks I have played in a long time. Okay? That's just where I'm at with it. We've tried 5 or 6 different versions. I don't like any version more than the last, is the reality.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I'm done with it.
Trash.
And I like Darkrai. Darkrai is probably my 3rd favorite Pokemon. But
next is Aegislash.
I worry about its damage output.
So what do you
it caps off at what, 130?
Yep.
I worry about that.
And then Shrine and then Spell Tag.
I like it. And then I love that you can streamline them super easy like Trevenant with Rescue Scarf.
That part's cool. I know where I would put it.
But would you rather play that or a single prize Malamar spread deck?
And that gives you to where I think it goes.
I think it's way Rogue.
It's Rogue because I can look at almost any other deck except for Sleepy and say,
Except for Sleepy. Why?
I'd rather play that. I'd rather play any of those other decks than this one, and I'd have a better chance.
I think when people are faced with the choice of either a Malamar option or an Aegislash option, yes, they play differently, but still kind of Malamar spread.
Around the same damage output.
I think people would opt for the basic and hit for 130 rather than counting up items that you discard. And it functions kind of the same. You know, this comes back into hand. Well, you can put that back on the bench and repower it up and start hammering down on people.
Mm-hmm.
So at the end of the day, I would rather play Malamar.
I agree.
So, next.
Dragonite.
I like it in the toolbox because you can get the clean 270 on anything.
That's a knockout on anything right now.
But as far as standalone deck, absolutely not.
I agree. Rogue, for sure. Anything that has a... My bad. One prize attacker, it's going to lose.
I can get the same effect of this deck with this without having to play Rare Candy and Stage 2.
Mm-hmm.
So I would much rather 1,000 times play the toolbox.
Next is Zoroark Greninja.
Surprising.
I put it at tier 3.
I agree.
Because it's not that bad of a deck. It's performed very well.
It got second place in our last tournament.
Super well.
I think it's off people's radar because there isn't really a list going around that people can just get on board and say definitively, this is the way to play the deck.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like we've got it pretty well dialed in.
Yeah.
Honestly.
The Naganadels are so good. You get those beast rings off, it's in one shot for the rest of the game.
I do have concerns about its HP, the 250.
It's a little less.
I think it definitely needs Choice Helmet in the deck.
But I mean, it's right in the middle. 240 is the low, 270 is the high. And it hits that in between.
Right now, its weakness to fighting. I think it's gonna. I think here's my thing on it. If I'm gonna play a Pokemon that's weak to fighting, I think I would play Zekrom Pikachu.
Oh no, I would much rather play this.
Well, I'm thinking what most people think.
Yeah.
Most people are gonna say if I'm playing a fighting weak deck. And there's a possibility of Aerodactyl working its way around, or baby Buzzwole decks sneaking around. I think I would rather just play Zekrom Pikachu. So I think it kind of suffers the same as like Dragonite.
Where it's just in the shadow of another deck.
I think there's a better fighting weak option, is my honest opinion. And that's nothing against the deck because of the two, I would rather play that, but if I'm going to Worlds Day 1 and I'm either sleeving up Zekrom Pikachu or Greninja Zoroark, I'm going to sleeve up Zekrom Pikachu and play with it. So.
Next, Frostless.
Ooh. This one's super hard. I really, really like the deck. I think it has the potential to win the tournament. I really do. It's that good.
Didn't it win our tournament?
Yes.
It was a good meta call by me.
It's tier 3. Oh, Rogue?
No, I'm kidding. I agree. It's tier 3. It's a good deck, but definitely not a day 1 Worlds deck.
I wouldn't take it day 1, but day 2 to win, absolutely. I can see people teching in the Frostless in other decks to get some favorable matchups and to just put a ton of damage onto, a 140 for 1 water. That's pretty sweet damage output, folks.
And it's not like you have to
and it's
knock yourself out.
So
I think that's the best part.
I think it's really good. I worry about what people are going to be teching in the Mew. I'm concerned with the Mew that's going to just kind of snipe some Spirit Tombs if you're trying to stack them up real nicely with 5 damage counters. I think that could be a problem. So I do worry about Mew, and we'll talk about techs that we see. I like it. I don't think it's going to be popular.
And that's what gives it the tier 3 spot. Sleepy deck, trash. Don't play it.
I think it's good. And not just because I made it, but
it's definitely because you made it.
I think it could be slept on, if you will.
I think it will be slept on, and it will never wake up.
I think the right now is there's no general. The same reason with like the Frostless Spirit Tomb. There's no general consensus on like or the Greninja Zord on what is the definitive best list.
Mm-hmm.
Ours has the Amoonguss. There's lists floating around that play Frostless with the Breloom. There's lists that float around with Mareep, Breloom. So, I mean, there's like 3 different lists floating around. No one really knows which one is clearly this deck is the best. This deck is the absolute worst. We don't know. That's reality. And because of that, it has to go in Rogue.
Just don't play it.
So.
Be-he-him. Be-he-he-he.
Not enough people know how great it is. People are not investing the time to learn the deck, play the deck, and see what it's capable of.
I give it tier 3 because it's a strong deck. Just not too many people are going to play it.
I think it's Rogue. I think it's Rogue for a different reason why you're saying. I think it's Rogue because no one will play it.
Tier 3 is not very many people to none are going to play it, but the deck is good.
It is.
So that's what gives it that tier 3.
It is good.
It is good.
But no one's going to play it.
Which gives it tier 3.
Which gives it Rogue.
Tier 3.
Folks, it is good. If you've seen our streams on it and all that, and we've shaped it like a bullet now. It doesn't have the wheezing. It has Garatinas to streamline. It's super good. I just don't think people are going to test it, and for the same reason as like the Aegislash. At the end of the day, they're just going to play Malamar.
I'm going to go ahead and say this is going to be played day 2.
You think?
One person, at least one person is going to play it day 2.
You think so?
That's my prediction.
Alright, I guess we'll wait and see. You heard it first from the Dancing Bear, folks.
It's a big prediction.
The mushroom with green eyes will be played day
That
2.
is an alien.
It's a mushroom.
Why would a mushroom have a body?
Why would an alien look like a mushroom? Alright. Eggplant.
Nobody really likes eggplant.
It's good. It's good.
I'll give it that tier 3.
It's good.
Because it has a good matchup. Here.
I think it has a good Zekrom matchup.
Yeah, because it's going to take them at least an Electro Power to get the knockout on it. Or the GX attack. That might be a problem. The GX attack, knock out 2 Alolan Exeggutor's. So that one might be iffy.
Yeah, I agree. It is good, though. I think it comes down to if we're playing a 1-prize deck, what do we want to be playing? Garatina Malamar, right?
Mm-hmm.
So until something better than Garatina Malamar comes along, that's always going to be kind of my comparison point. Where there for the longest time, it was like, we've got Zapdos. What other 1-prize deck is there that we want to be playing?
Yeah.
Oh, that deck? Is that better than Zapdos? No? Oh, okay. I'll just stay with Zapdos then.
Yeah.
Same thing. Until something better than Giratina Malamar comes along, then Executor's tier 3.
I heard you say Zapdos, so let's pull it out.
This one's hard to place. Okay, initially I thought my issue with Zapdos would be the loss of
Nest Ball and
Nest Ball, Guzma,
switching cards,
Escape Rope.
Ways to get out the Pokemon.
So my initial reaction when I was like, oh, Zapdos may be dead. And then I realized, no, Zapdos isn't dead. It's still good. But the more I play it, the more I realize
that's not
Zapdos.
that good.
Zapdos itself is good, but it needs help from the Ultra Beast, and you can't reliably search out those Ultra Beasts most of the time.
Yeah.
You have a small window of getting Buzzwole with Beast Energy or a Rainbow to take the KO on Zekrom.
Yeah.
If you don't get in that window, then you've basically lost. Okay? I think it would have to take some amazing skill to pull that off consistently. You would have to, like, basically be playing Zapbeast for, like, months to get to where you would be comfortable. So I don't think it's going to be popular.
No.
I think it's good, but Zapdos itself can't reach these bigger Pokemon.
I think it's okay.
If the meta is majority Party Balloon, Malamar stuff, I think it's going to excel. But if the meta is more like leaning towards like Zekrom and possibly like Charizard, then no, it's going to have a bad time.
An Aerodactyl.
So,
You feeling Rogue or?
I think it's tier 3.
Okay. I was thinking more of Rogue, but I can see your point on tier 3.
I think it's tier 3. Rayquaza variants.
Rogue.
Extremely rogue. It's a lot of fun to play. It just to streamline with the damage output, even with Naganadel Beast Ring, I think the damage output just isn't there. I think it struggles to reach some of these higher tag teams, and then they knock you out, and then that puts you at least down 90 damage that it's almost impossible to recover from.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Whimsicott. And we can throw Guardy Sylveon into this category, too.
I think first just say Rogue.
Yeah. My Poke Dad Venusaur. It's fun. And it is competitive. But I would not recommend taking it against a field with Charizard, Volcanion, Party Balloon, New, and then you got Zekrom that can get out of the Poison Burn Confused with Yellow Monkey's Free Retreat. So, no, I would not recommend doing that.
Alright, so will we tie with Rogue, or will Rogue win?
For what?
We've never had an incident where Tier 3 and Rogue have tied or Tier 3 win. More decks in it. So what shall it be?
I think Whimsicott could be on the edge of Tier 2-3. I think it could be 2.5. I think...
So Whimsicott wins.
I think
Tier 3 wins.
I think Guardy Sylvie is extremely rogue.
Yeah.
Of the two, I'm liking Whimsicott GX more and more and more.
Its ability is super strong.
Now, Is the Porygon version better or is Hat Lady's version better? I do not have a definitive answer on that. I can tell you which one's more fun to play, and that would be the Hat Ladies. But there's definite benefits to the Porygon list.
Yeah.
So, all right, now that we've got them all placed, let's go through our top 8. Or let's real quick, let's talk about spicy techs. You got a couple spicy techs?
Choice Helmet.
Choice Helmet, absolutely. Choice Helmet.
Oh my gosh, so good.
It's so good in Party Balloon because the Zekrom can't one-hit KO it.
With no more damage modifiers?
Without adding 2 Electro Powers.
Without damage modifiers like Choice Band or if they're back in the day with Muscle Band. It's so good. And I mean, what other tool are you really going to run?
You can run it in the Malamar stuff because look at that, what that does to your HP.
220.
220.
What hits 220?
You have to get, what?
3
Electro Powers. Choice Helmet and the Mew that blocks bench damage are your spicy techs for Worlds. Okay? If you have concerns about something being able to one-hit KO you, then I would definitely invite you to try the Choice Helmet. Because I think it fits into a lot of decks. There's nothing that removes tools right now, except for not that removes stadiums. I was gonna think of the Marshadow, but yeah, there's nothing that really moves tools, so you're safe to attach it. You know.
Yeah.
So that, and then the Mew that blocks bench damage, super good.
In case you're worried of the Frostless.
Yeah. Mew can go into the Frostless Spirit Tomb, but mainly for the Zekrom Pikachu matchup. You don't want him to snipe 2 things on the bench, or the new Naganadel GX that can snipe for 170.
Yep.
So
That could be a problem.
Mew and Choice Helmet are our 2 spicy techs for Worlds.
So now what?
All right, so now we're gonna put our top 8 decks on what we would play. Okay, we'll talk about it. We'll figure out what would we play for the tournament. Okay.
So definitely take all the rogue out of the equation. So
Maybe, I don't know. You might be like, I want to play Aegislash or something. I don't know.
No, don't think
I don't know.
Then you got high chances of grabbing all of them up here. Medium chances. Over here.
Okay, so
There.
our top 8 that we would play for Worlds. Now, are we talking day 1 or day 2?
Day 1.
Day 1, our top picks.
Alright. For me, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the Mewtwo.
I really like that. I really like that a lot. It's super consistent. It's good. If you're worried about power plant, you're going to have, I think the deck runs at least 4, if not 5 stadiums.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, you got a really nice, healthy line of stadium bumps. Not going to be an issue whatsoever. And if you're that worried about it, since you play Mysterious Treasure, you can play the Marshadow where you can just sack it and get rid of the stadium. Get rid of the power plant. So, power plant, not going to be an issue. I love the deck. It can one-shot anything. Super good.
Unless it's a 270 with Choice Helmet.
So.
Is this your number 1, too?
That is not my number 1, but
Okay.
I really like it.
Okay, so.
My number 1
Is Bless Fun. Okay.
is Party Balloon. Poke Dad's number 1 is Party Balloon.
It's not going to work with both of us doing our list.
Well then,
List,
where do you think this is?
My list is first. I put this one as my number 1.
Okay, so that's your number one. Okay, so Dancing Bear.
My number 2 is the Aerodactyl.
Okay.
I think the matchups it has is super good. If you're knowing Zekrom is going to be played a lot, easy one-hit KO. Choice helmet or not, just put in the Diancie and one-hit KO.
Okay, so what's your third? Your third play.
I'll go with Blaze Fawn. Trying to get it all the way. Super consistent, super strong.
No argument here, other than why the heck is it number 3? But go ahead.
I like these two a little bit.
Right, you're a senior. I forget you're a senior.
You gotta win.
All right.
And then is where those two. I don't know.
Well, then put them side by side or top and bottom if you have to.
I think I'd rather play this one and then this one.
Oh, okay. The Malamar spread,
Mm-hmm.
and then the Ultra Necrozma.
Yep.
Okay. So that's, are we counting that
It's
as,
5.
so number 6.
Ooh. Not this. I'm not too big a fan of that. A little iffy about the Beast Box.
Iffy on the pet. Huh, peanut.
Rolling with the stall. Because everyone loves stall.
Stall.
Just gonna go back down
Oh my
here.
gosh.
And then this is where it gets tough. I think maybe I'll go for the Beast Box and then Behem. So this is the order.
So that's your top 8.
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting.
Yeah,
So
it is interesting.
that's what interesting means.
But
Sorry, folks. I'm trying to fix the camera.
why would you mess the camera up to begin with?
Well, the
for?
dancing bear forgot
Whoa.
to turn off the autofocus.
I might have.
So I apologize if the camera's sitting there and doing this the whole time. But yeah, you can blame the dancing bear. So
Normally he does the camera stuff.
number 1 for Poke Dad, Party Balloon. Definitely need to play it. It's awesome. Number 2, pick the Mewtwo Mew Toolbox. It's super good. Number 3, Ultra Necrozma. I think it's versatile with the Garatinas. So, yeah, I think it's really good. Number 4, the Aerodactyl. Okay. Number 5 is going to be the Zekrom Pikachu. Not a fan of it,
That's bull.
but
No.
I respect it.
No, you're not gonna play that.
I know. Number 6 is, I'm trusting Finnegan here on this, and I'm going to say the Beast Box. Number 7, I'm going to go with Frostless Spirit Tomb, actually. And then number 8, a Malamar Spread variant. Single prize Malamar. So, Party Balloon, Mewtwo Mew Toolbox, Ultra Necrozma, Aerodactyl, Mr. Zekrom, Beast Box, Frostless Spirit Tomb, and then one prize Malamar.
Alright.
So, alrighty, and
We're gonna keep him here and then switch him around for day 2.
no, I think it's pretty much the same, right? For day 2?
Mm-mm.
No?
Not for me.
Oh, okay, well then you just pick what's the 2 decks that you would sleeve up?
2 decks, huh?
2 decks that you would sleeve up to win Worlds.
I'm just gonna do 3.
He's just gonna do 3.
Because who knows what you see day 1, and then you might want to make just these 3.
So he's sleeving up.
Maybe.
You're gonna play the mushroom.
This order.
You're gonna play the mushroom.
I'm playing the alien.
Okay.
Because like I said, somebody's gonna play it day 2.
I don't know about that. It's good, folks. I mean, it sounds like I'm dogging it, but it is really good. But let's be realistic. How much time have people invested into getting to learn how to play it or dialing in the list? I think that's what it comes down to, right?
Yeah.
So, my day 2.
But the Persian.
I'm taking this, but with Persian GX. A 1 Ditto, 1 Meowth, 1 Persian. And then if I needed a backup plan, I'm taking Mewtwo Toolbox. Simple as that.
And then Behem, right?
Nope.
No.
And those are my only 2. I don't need a third. I'm either playing Party Balloon or I'm playing Mewtwo.
Okay.
I'm playing one of those 2. Simple as that. So.
What's going to win it?
What's going to win? Probably a Zekrom, unfortunately.
I was going to go for Zekrom. Just because of
I think,
mass
yes,
amounts.
yes. Majority of the people are going to be playing that. And so, I mean, the rule of numbers, you know.
Mm-hmm.
There's better odds of someone winning with Zekrom, but I think this will be in the winning deck. I'm calling that for sure. It may be inside Zekrom Pikachu, like I think ours already does have.
Oh, there he is.
Where?
Oh, nice. No, dude.
What?
You passed it.
Oh.
That's why I said there it is.
Yep, there it is. So.
Now you got 2 Mewtwo decks.
He will be inside the championship deck. Okay? I'm calling that for sure.
Yeah.
But what do I think will win? Zekrom Pikachu. So.
Alright.
I'm still not a fan of the deck, but
Nor am I.
I realize the amount of people that are going to be playing it is going to be outrageous. And so, yeah.
I feel like this one, or this one is going to win. Maybe the Japanese, they play it and then they just show who's boss and just slam with the deck, the numbers, and then a lot of people might be playing that because it is super good and consistent.
It's definitely the most consistent of any deck.
Oh, yeah.
And we've been on that hype train constantly, right? Party Balloon is for real. Okay? It did not pop when the rotation happened. In fact, it's floating higher and higher now. So, that's it for the minor forecast. We'll be back tomorrow night with we'll do juniors and then seniors. And very exciting. Worlds is just around the corner, right, Dancing Bear?
Right there.
All right, so till next time, be excellent to each other.
And party on